Hello and welcome. My name is Deborah Guthrie, and joining me today for this March is Women's Month program series is Amy Stevenson and Lisney Tate. Thank you so much. Co-directors of Helping Women, period, a Lansing-based nonprofit organization helping women have feminine hygiene products. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about this program and how it got started.
Well, Amy and I were on Facebook at the same time in January of 2015, and we both read the same article from Huffington Post that talked about the lack of product for homeless women, and we both posted it, and then we sent each other messages saying, oh my gosh, did you know that this is a problem? Because we didn't. We thought that it was, those products were covered by some kind of federal program like SNAP or WIC or something, and when we realized that there were women in our own community who were suffering this kind of lack of dignity and had no money to purchase products and were using things like socks and other things instead of product. We thought we need to do something. So we thought, well, we'll just invite 30 of our closest friends to Soup Spoon for breakfast, and we'll hit them all up and hope they give us donations, and we'll buy a couple cases off of Amazon, donate it to Haven House, and we'll be done. And it didn't work out that way. We posted an event on Facebook on a Sunday. On Tuesday, we had to change the venue because we had 100 people that wanted to come. And on Thursday, we became a nonprofit because there were people from all over the U.S. who wanted to send us money, and we needed to be fiscally responsible and transparent about where that money was going. So
That happened quickly.
yeah, it was I like to call it the accidental nonprofit because we weren't really planning it at all.
Now, did you know each other before?
We did. Our children both attended Montessori Radmore School in Okemos.
Yep.
But our kids had left since then. But, through the power of social media, we still kept in touch.
Yeah.
So we knew each other kind of in a different lifetime ago when our kids were much younger.
What were you thinking? What was your thought process when you became a nonprofit the Thursday following all of this?
Shock.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but that first breakfast was really successful. We raised, about $4,000, and we thought, well, we need to find some other groups that need these products too, and so we started talking, and then we also thought, well, we need to go with a local company rather than buying it off online. So we connected with Mishko. They're a janitorial supply company in Old Town, and he said, if you buy 100 cases, I will give it to you at wholesale rates.
Wow.
And we looked at each other and thought, where are we going to put 100 cases? Living room, car. But ever since then, we've been with Mishko, and we have different charity partners. We now have 126 charity partners that we distribute to every year. So it's
So we didn't have a lot of time to remain in shock. We had too much we needed to do.
Right.
And it's kind of been that way ever since
You had to
for
just
the past
keep
5
moving.
years.
Yeah, keep moving forward. And so do you have people who have helped along the way who are part of distribution, volunteers, that sort of thing?
We do. Although we're sitting here today representing Helping Women, period, we have an army of people behind us that work with Listening primarily to drive product around and make donations, or they'll come with me one Saturday a month and do a product distribution through the city of Lansing. We have folks that sew beautiful cloth bags so we can distribute the product in a nice fabric pouch, discreet way. We have folks that write thank you notes. We have folks that help us with events we have coming up. And so just all different types of people help us with social media, graphic design, whatever their skill set is and what they enjoy doing. We typically have something for them to do.
How do you find out about who to distribute the products to? I know you said homeless, at-risk women.
our charity partners are food banks, we have shelters, we have support groups like Boys and Girls Club. We donate to them. We do schools. And I go out when I'm in the community. People say, "Oh, well, my little church food bank needs this product. Can you?" And of course we can. So,
So anybody who serves somebody who needs these products, we will partner with. And so quite often they'll contact us, and especially the longer we've been around, people know that it's a sustainable way to get these donations.
The word is spreading.
The word is spreading, and often it is, as Leslie said, very grassroots. Somebody donates at a food bank or volunteers at a food bank already, and they think of us. So we haven't had to sell it per se. They have come to us because the need is so substantial in our community.
Yeah.
You know, we live in a affluent area. We're pretty used to be able to getting our menstrual products when we need them and not thinking about the fact that maybe there are women out there and girls, young girls out there who don't have access to this. What are some of the menstrual equity issues that are out there in regards to that?
Well, the first thing I would say, no matter what affluent community you live in, one, there are people and students who still need the product that might not be very visible to the naked eye per se, but that from a budgetary standpoint still need the product. But every person who menstruates at one time or another has been caught without product or caught without a pad or tampon, and they know what that feels like, and that panic. And that feeling of very vulnerable. And so I think that's why we've been so successful is any community, when we talk to other people, if they've had a period, they know what that must feel like and they want it. They feel compelled to help.
We can relate.
We can
Right.
totally relate to
Right.
it, and so they want to help. Some of the menstrual equity issues that we're trying to combat in our community, one is by providing vending machines in schools that are free and accessible so that a student doesn't have to go to a teacher or raise their hand and be dismissed from class or go to the front office and get a product, if it's even supplied at all at their school. We do work with several, but and that takes them away from their class time, their education, and so that's a very unequitable situation for the girls who menstruate in that school. For a lot of the families that we serve, if it's a single income household and a person can't make it to work or can't get their children to a doctor's appointment because they're literally without product and bleeding, I mean, it's an economic hardship for those families. So the inequity is everywhere. That you can think of where women are working or going to school if they don't have access to what they need.
We used to have a, do you call it a dispenser? What do you call it?
Vending
Here
machine, yeah.
at the township, and it went away years ago. And I've always thought that's crazy.
It is crazy.
I can't tell you how many women come up to me and ask me if I have something because they caught off guard, you know, 'cause
Right.
it's not clockwork.
Right.
When it comes, people are like, what, you know what was coming? It's not clockwork. It's not
Doesn't
always
send you an
clockwork.
email and
No.
say, hey.
And
Hey,
you would
I'm on my way.
You would never
Have
have a
a product
facility
ready.
without toilet paper in that situation, and so you shouldn't have it without a pad or tampon. So we would encourage schools, facilities, municipalities, when you look at your budget, just like you're considering toilet paper and hand towels and things, you really need to be considering pads and tampons for the people that come to your facilities.
Yeah, I have a stock in my office, so if anybody asks me, I can help them out. And at one point, we put a basket in the women's restroom with free products, but every week the entire basket would be empty.
Sure.
And I thought, there is no way that all of these can be gone in desperate need this week.
And our vending machine has a timed mechanism on it, so you can turn it. You don't need a quarter or anything, and it'll come out, and then it's delayed, so that
Okay.
there's some mechanisms in there so that it doesn't all get used at one time, so that everybody has access to it.
Oh, that's cool. Because ours used to have, you know, a quarter that you would put in. It didn't work half the time. I could see the product was in there, but it wasn't coming
And
out.
teenagers today don't carry
Carry
change,
change,
so it's
yeah,
one
that's-
more impediment for them to get what they need. So
I don't carry change either.
No.
I'm not. Went to a cash only place last week and I thought, oh, I'm not going there. I had to walk right back out. Let's talk about some of the, you know, we talked a little bit about, you know, our community, and I know, you know, there's 5% of Meridian Township is low income, you know, which is surprising to many people, and you touched on that a little bit. But just nationally and internationally, the first time I heard, maybe 10 years ago through my church, because they were making menstrual panties to send overseas. That was the first time I really heard about an issue with women having access to something that seems so like a right. It's almost like a right, like you should have it. What are some of the issues that we have? I don't know if you touched on this, but just nationally.
Nationally and internationally, in the press lately, there has been a documentary, period, the end of sentence, and that shines a wonderful spotlight on the issues in India as an example, and some of the cottage industries that are coming up where women in the communities and men are making products for the people in that community. And in other countries, it actually can be a life or death situation if a child or young woman is put in a menstrual hut because they have to be excommunicated from their community. They've actually died in those huts due to fires, insect bites, snake bites. So internationally, there's also a whole other host of cultural issues and things around it beyond just the access to the product and missing school, things like that. And in our own country, it exists as well. And it could be anything from different states looking at the tampon tax to say, is this really fair to tax these products? Different states are looking at having free access to these products in schools and in prisons. So we're one small part of very much of a national and international movement of creating awareness to this issue.
I remember one time in high school, I don't know if this ever happened to you, I had to go home because I started in high school unaware. There was nothing in the bathroom, and so I just left school, and I was in very much trouble the next day in the principal's office, and they didn't believe me. I said, and I'm like, I'm not lying.
Like, if I was going to lie, I would come up with something else as a teenage girl to tell you this and that.
I know I'm not the perfect student, but really I'm not lying.
Right.
Like, this happened.
And I think the issue is there. You could go home and get what you need. What we're finding is the students, as an example, if they don't have it in the school for various reasons, they can't even go home to get what they need. So then they're faced with a really terrible situation. Just as Lizney said, it's the loss of dignity. Whether you're 12 or 52, that you shouldn't have to be faced with that.
Well, geez, and if you have a long walk,
right?
By the time you get home, get cleaned up, walk back, I mean, half the school day is gone.
Right.
Michigan, legislation, organizations, what's happening in Michigan?
It's actually a very exciting time. I'm going to try to contain my enthusiasm, but probably not very
You don't
well.
have to. Julie Brixey was on the show earlier,
Okay,
and she
great.
was talking about female issues. It's okay.
She is actually one of our speakers tomorrow at an event we're having. But there is current legislation for the first time I'm aware of on both the House and the Senate. Miss Gansey, I believe is her name, is a state representative from the Detroit area. She co-authored some legislation on the House side, and I think Miss Brixey had a part in that as well. And then a state representative from Grand Rapids, who I apologize, her name is escaping me, she's introduced bills on the Senate side. 123 and 124 is the state representative side of the bill. But we feel there'll be a lot more momentum, although this legislation has been introduced in the past. It died out fairly early in the process. This already has gone a little bit further than it has in the past. So we're excited to hear from Ms. Brixey what that process looks like to get the bills approved and where it's at for both
What
the House
is it?
and the
What will
Senate.
it do?
I'm sorry, yeah, to eliminate the sales tax in the state of Michigan for pads and tampons.
Okay.
Yes, so that would be a help. I mean, it's one more added on fee that would help families
Makes
if
it
that
less
was eliminated. And there are about 12 or 14 other states that have already done this, so I'm hoping there's been precedent set that it'll be a no-brainer for the administration to continue with these bills and improving them.
How do people get involved with what you're doing?
Go to our website, helpingwomenperiod.org, and we have lots of ways to get involved. We need volunteers all the time, like Amy was talking about earlier. You do product drives. We have drop boxes all over, and the list is on our website. So if you had a product that you tried and you didn't like, you want to clean out your closet, you can go ahead and drop them in. As long as they're individually wrapped, we'll take them.
And you're on Facebook as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Twitter, Instagram.
How do you feel? What are some of the challenges you face in getting the word out or getting people to understand the issues?
I think getting people to understand the issues is not a problem at all. Like Amy said earlier, if you've had that experience of not having product when you needed a period, you feel it in your chest. Or you know somebody who's had a period who's had that problem. I think one of the problems we run into is with our charity partners, they forget that we're here for good. Like they're used to getting donations and not getting donations on a regular basis. And so trying to remind them that we're still here and we can give you as much as you want. They say, oh, well, just give me whatever you can, because they're so used to dealing with lack, you know.
Yep.
And we're like, no, tell us how many you can fit in your closet. We'll stock it.
Because we'd rather not make more than one trip. We'd
Exactly.
rather give you what you need, and then we don't have to come back for a while. I would say another challenge is our growth. And just like a private business that's growing very quickly, there's certain skill sets and needs that we have from a strategic standpoint to help us remain sustainable. So just looking at what's worked in the past, is that going to work moving forward, and getting some other folks involved at a different level beyond perhaps delivering product, but who can strategically help us move forward and remain sustainable in the community.
Well, I appreciate what you both are doing, and I'm sure the community does as well. Do you see yourselves as female leaders in the Lansing region? Because I do.
Well, you can tell by our response we don't.
You're just doing your thing, doing your part.
We didn't start out to be leaders at all.
Yeah.
No, we just saw a need and wanted to get it taken care of.
And we, I think, remain really focused on everything we still want to do and what we want to do better and what we need to maintain our level of service. And so we've been extremely honored the past couple months to receive an award from the Chamber and from the Capital Area Women's Lifestyle magazine, and even a Lansing State Journal article. And I know we still remain floored that people, it's on their radar at that level, because there's some amazing things going on in Lansing as well. And so no, we didn't set out to do that. I mean, we are leaders in terms of we're good at what we do, and we can lead projects and we can lead events. But from a community standpoint, that was never our vision, and it's not really what we focus on, because we have so many other things that we want to do.
So I'm going to ask you a couple of other female leadership questions. You know, what is the importance of females leading in these types of capacities?
Well, what I would like to say is we came into this situation having very different professional and personal backgrounds. We are not nonprofit executives or leaders. We may have volunteered at nonprofits or served on boards. And I just want to thank the other nonprofit leaders in our community that have taken us under their wing. Cindy Allwood of the Greater Lansing Women's
Amazing.
Center, Tajmika Torak,
Yes.
Julie Powers.
Julie Powers.
Yeah.
You know, people never not took us seriously of like, oh God, what are they doing? We felt respected and we felt heard, and when we had an issue or a question, people were very responsive. And so from a local leadership level, I'm very grateful for that type of support. And we've gotten it from day one. And from the business community, both men and women in the business community as well, just support when we needed it.
How do you think this influences women on a global scale?
Helping women, period? Or,
Yeah.
Well, we get calls and emails weekly from other places all over the U.S. wanting to do what we're doing and wanting to find out how we provide product the way we do and how we have set up our organization. So
it's like a pond, and we're like one of many stones that are in the pond making a ripple effect. But we have students tomorrow attending our breakfast that go to Grand Blanc High School who started not a chapter of Helping Women, period, but their own organization after talking to us at the Women's March last year. And there are people who contact us once their website and their organization's up and running that we spoke to a year ago about what they wanted to do. And so we are an influence in that, but I think we're one of many in terms of the national conversation that's going on around menstruation and menstrual equity.
And this is your 5th annual breakfast. It's full to capacity.
it is.
It is.
It's twice as many people as we had last year.
So that's good.
Yeah.
But it is at the U Club. We have some amazing guest speakers. We have about 250 people attending, and our theme is Helping Women, period, and it is much more than Lizney and I sitting here today. And so tomorrow is really dedicated to shine a light on the policy advocates, the volunteers, the college students, the high school students, our business partners,
The clients.
the clients who receive us, most importantly, who receive our product. So that's what we'll be doing tomorrow, and based on the response, we're really overwhelmed, but it'll be a great day.
If there's someone out there watching today who's struggling or needs help, what would you say to them?
If they have access, they could either call the 211, excuse me, I knew that didn't sound right. The 211 and ask for some of the charity partners that we currently donate to. If they have access to the website, there's a list on our website of the charity partners, or if they're currently a client at a food bank, ask that food bank. We probably work with the food bank by now. Just not be shy and ask, do you have these products? So to call the 211 or to reach out to an area agency, we may already support them currently, and they could get product from them.
Anything else you want to add?
Just to thank the community. I mean, this is a grassroots effort, and it is much more beyond us, and we just want to thank the community for their faith in us, especially in the early years, their financial support, and just that we're incredibly grateful to be able to do what we do.
Well, I want to thank you both for what you're doing, and I want to thank you for coming out today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And I'm hoping that we can do more with you to help spread the word here
That'd
at
be
Home
great.
TV. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for watching.